Okay. Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And this is an emergency broadcast.
Holy fuck, dude. we both have emergencies going on. Fuck, dude.
So I know I've told you about mine, but tell me what's going on with you.
Yeah, we're gonna need a raccoon check here in a minute, but
yeah.
So I had a
Signs of life check.
Yeah, shit. I had a cold last week. I even had to, I don't know if it was a cold or COVID, but I even had to cancel tattoo appointments. So, wasn't feeling good, right?
Yeah, it's got to be bad.
Yeah, I mostly just didn't want to get anyone there sick. But, so, yesterday, I'm finally feeling better. I go to start coding some medical charts, right? I sit down at my chair, right? I'm fucking with my vape and my water bottle, right? And I click the login, the clock in button, right? Starts the day. I lean back in my office chair, right?
Okay.
And I feel my back twinge, just a little tweak, right?
Yep.
Next thing I know, I'm waking up.
Oh, shit.
Which is not a good start. I'm waking up and I'm like, fuck, what was I doing? And I'm like, oh shit, my back kind of hurts. And then I feel it. My whole back just fucking compresses into like one knot. And I look up,
shit.
I look on the ground, my water's spilled everywhere. I fucking broke my vape and I like immediately fall to the floor. And I am like writhing on the floor, like had just clocked in for like an hour. I could not fucking move, dude. It was gnarly. I've never just like blacked out from a fucking back thing before.
So, how long were you out?
It was probably like half a second. But when I woke up, I didn't remember why my back hurt or like what was going on. I was like confused as fuck. Like if my back didn't hurt or like it wasn't obviously a muscle thing, I would have thought I had like a weird seizure or like fainted or something.
Yeah, that makes me think of like, you know how like your body can like shut you down, like make you pass out if it like expects you to be experiencing trauma or something, like, because if you're relaxed, typically like if you fall while you're relaxed or something like that, you'll be less harmed than if you're like all tense in the wrong places and shit.
Yeah, it was trippy. I think part of it, I must have slept weird and I just wasn't prepared. Like I was still tired and it just hit so suddenly. My body just like spazzed out, dude. Like Sarah
got me over here checking my posture.
Dude, it was fucked. I'm like, if you saw my back right now, you can see like from one side to the other, all the muscles are like in different shapes right now.
Oh, fuck.
Like one side of my back looks relatively in shape.
Damn, they're all tightened up.
I'm twisted up over here, bro. Fuck.
That's fucking terrifying. Back pain or back like issues like that, that's one of the scariest fucking things because like it's everything. It's your whole shit. You know, it's like every move you make has something to do with your pulls. Yeah.
I'll be watching you.
It all pulls from your back at some point.
Yeah, like
it can totally fuck you up for weeks.
Yeah, you don't realize it till it happens, and then once it goes away, you're like, "What the fuck was wrong with me?" And then, I think maybe I was working out too much, but I think it was mostly I just slept weird.
Just that makes sense too,
like a random thing. But my boss was like, "Yeah," because I have this happen like multiple times a year with my neck. And that was like a big thing for me last year. And I would normally try to work through it. And then today she was like, just take the day off. She's like, fuck that. Don't come in.
Cool.
Yeah. So I played Call of Duty all day.
Pretty dope. Pretty cool.
Killed people while my back spasmed. But yeah, life's just kind of goofy. You had some weird shit too. What about your little story?
So we just, like last week we had all that snow up here. We had a whole, like, you know, it was like 8 or 9 inches of snow. And everything's covered. It stayed frozen for, you know, most of the week. And then just in the last couple of days, it's been like warming up and melting. And I don't usually like look out my kitchen window. Out my kitchen window, you can see one of our flat roofs. And I don't spend a lot of time like looking out because I can also see like my next door neighbor's house. And I don't care to look over at their house. So the other day I was actually getting ready to go to bed, and I just happened to look out there and I see these 2 big fucking holes in the roof. Like ripped apart. The fucking tiles are gone. It's like, oh shit, like what's going on?
We call that a friend portal.
And I realized at this point that like I had heard, and it's not completely uncommon, like it sounded like critters in like the soffit or like somewhere in like, you know, a crack or something. Like it's an old house. We need to get our siding redone. That's not totally weird that like there's a squirrel like nestled up in, you know, by the soffit or something. But lo and behold, like I told my mom about it and we're sitting here trying to figure out how to fix it. We go get the materials to fix it. I come back up, we look out the window, and here's a fucking raccoon sitting on the windowsill. And sure enough, he climbs, you know, we first I go up to the window and he just comes up with sniffing like, hey, what's up, dude? Like he knows that we're the ones to put the cat food out that he eats. So we scare him away. He runs into the fucking hole in the roof. And we still try to figure out how to cover it up because it's supposed to rain all fucking weekend. And we didn't have a tarp, so I used an air mattress.
What?
So, you know, like how air mattresses are basically just like big, shitty tarps?
I guess.
I had one in the basement that's old and definitely had holes in it and shit.
You just cut it up?
Not even. I took the whole thing, rolled it out, and drilled it into the fucking roof.
Yeah. That'll work. That buys you time.
Yeah. You know, I know you're not supposed to drill into the roof, but it was, cause then you just have more holes, but the whole fucking thing needs to be replaced anyways. So.
Were they cute raccoons? Or were they ugly ones?
It was a really cute one. Wait. You
have 39 cats in your house, but you wouldn't take in one cute raccoon.
You know, apparently he's cool with some of the cats because we've caught, I mean, it might not be the same one, but we caught this raccoon like out on the porch just hanging out with the cats, and the cats are just cool. They're hanging out too. They're not like, you know, freaking the fuck out or anything. The raccoon's just eating some cat food and they're just fucking chilling. So they're like cool and, you know, chill. But
so
like
my
mom ran up on one the other day, and he was, you know, she was trying to like just get back into our house because he's up on the porch, and he's all growling and spitting at her and shit. So, you know, maybe that's not a good fit.
How would you know?
He is feral.
How would you know until you try to love it?
Yeah.
I mean,
until I let it bite me and give me rabies.
Yeah, true. Fuck. Man, it's always something, isn't it?
I get rabies again. I never had it in the first place. But
dude, my old trap house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was Moving bows from Florida, right? Yeah. With all the birds, you know? It was a condemned house. And
cool.
cost about $6,000, right? Unheard of today.
Yeah.
And there were raccoons.
That's rent now.
Yeah. There was like a whole family, like extended family, full of raccoons that lived in my ceiling.
Rad.
And years after I moved out, and apparently the neighbor had lived in the house before we moved there, and he said his whole life the raccoons had always been in the in the attic, right? So there was like a whole lineage of raccoons that lived there.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I end up moving out, and then weird shit happened. Years later, the house is renovated, right? And it took a whole crew 2 weeks to fill up those 5-gallon Home Depot buckets of raccoon shit out of the attic.
Jesus.
Dude, it was like hundreds of pounds of raccoon shit. And I wonder to this day, what are the chances that shit fucked me up? I don't know. Because it seems like if it's walls away, you would think you'd be okay. But that shit is like, you hear horror stories.
I mean, it is shit.
Yeah.
And piss.
Bat shit always freaks me out too. Was it guano and shit?
Yeah. We have, that actually just reminded me, up in our shed, we have a 2-second story to our shed. And all the local cats stay in there in the wintertime. And I went and checked because I thought we've been seeing a new one coming around. So I was going to go see if I could find them out there. And I went up on the second floor, which I hadn't done since the summertime. And there was just a bunch of cat poop up there.
That sucks.
Not, buckets and buckets full, but it was enough. And I get it in the way of, especially in the winter, like when it's really windy and it's shitty up here and it's below freezing and it's like, they don't want to fucking go out in the fucking snow and go. It's like, yeah, they're cowards.
You would think all the hospitality you're showing them, they could at least walk outside.
I mean, they did all kind of like delegate it to a corner, so that's cool. That's considerate of them, I guess.
Yeah, very conscientious.
If you're gonna poop in a house, just like do it in a corner. Pick one corner and stick to it.
God, all this scat talk is giving me flashbacks, dude.
Boy.
Did I ever tell you about the crack house I renovated?
No, but before you do, Scat Talk should have been the name of our podcast.
It may certainly be the name of this episode.
Go ahead.
So I was doing like contract work on houses, just like general contracting shit. Man, and my boss bought this house that they were either crackheads or meth heads, right? Yeah. And it was almost like a joke. Like I don't think a Breaking Bad episode would even do something like as cliche, but the drugs that they bought was always sold to them in empty balloons. Like just the plastic uninflated balloon, right?
Wild.
Like I've seen.
I mean, what was it like
shit.
loose in the bag?
Yeah, like if you bought like a
like that, like the balloon was the bag. It wasn't like a bag inside of the. Okay, wow.
Yeah, like it like normally people like cut up magazines, paper.
Listen, that's not safe. That's not safe if you're trying to do crack, but you have a latex allergy. It's pretty fucked up.
That could be true. I think latex allergies are by touch only, but I could be mistaken. But yeah.
You know, you gotta touch the balloon to get your crack out, man.
That true. Unless you put on latex gloves. And then you're super fucked.
And then you're ready. Then you're okay. It cancels out, actually.
It's a double negative, bro.
Yeah.
There were thousands of these balloons cut open, just thrown all over the floor, right?
It's like a fucking terrible clown party.
Yeah, dude. And they were hoarders. And all the windows were broken out, and somebody stole the water heater while I was working there, right? Like sketch shit in Sailor Park. And I'm the one that's emptying out the house into dumpsters, right? It's like a 3-month job by myself. And I finally get the downstairs clear, and I'm into the upstairs, right? I'm into the bowels of the house, right?
Yeah.
And I open up this one room that I couldn't get to because all the junk was there the whole time. And I finally get to this upstairs, like corner of the house room. And apparently it was the dog's room. Now, the reason I know it was the dog's room is because all of the wallpaper was shredded off all the walls. And piss and shit was stained knee-high all the way around the room.
Wow.
Dude, I don't think they ever let the dog go outside. Like, it had to have been a gnarly, fucked up dog that they just neglected in one room of the house. It was the most gnarly shit I think I've ever... It was like living in, like, a Brother Lynch music video. Just like one room of like dog shit and blood everywhere. Christ. Yeah, dude.
That's fucking so terrifying.
Now, here's the real trippy part. I think I burned it at one point, but I may still have it somewhere. In the closet of this room, I found a woman's journal. So I cut out the carpet of the shit room, and one day on my lunch, I'm still smoking cigs, I'm fucking dope sick, and I find this journal. And I spent my lunch break just reading through, and it was the saddest thing I've ever heard a human being write. It was one of those things, like, for months, like, I'm like fucked up, right? Like, my life's a mess. I'm a junkie, but I'm like trying to like work and like keep my shit together. And meanwhile, I'm working on this house of like obvious like fuck up people that are like abusing their dog. I know they had kids too, and they obviously weren't taking care of their kids. Like, they're like gross, fucked people. And I'm cleaning their shit dog room. And I find the woman's journal. And by the time I finish reading this journal, I have like no negative judgment of at least the woman or these people in general. It was like so fucking sad, dude.
Yeah.
Talking about like her abortions, her mom's abortions, like the lineage curse, like just like brutal shit where you're like, God damn, like, I don't know, man. You like, it's so easy to, it's like a weird like moment of like, it's so easy to judge, but you just never truly know what the fuck's going on with somebody.
Yeah. It's
not that it's an excuse, but
yeah, it's like, it's easy to forget, maybe not forget, but like, it's easy to overlook that they're just people and they're in the situation they're in, regardless of how they got there.
Yeah.
They're still there. Yeah, that's fucked up.
It was a surreal experience.
Well, thanks for putting my problems into perspective.
No, fuck it, dude. Fuck them. Our problems matter way more, dude. Fuck this country.
The upside of things is I did make some soup earlier, and it's really fucking good.
What type of soup?
Miso soup.
Okay. Yesterday I had some pea soup that my girlfriend's mother made, and it was very good soup, but I wasn't in the mood for it. Mm-hmm. And then you said you made soup, and then I wanted soup.
Yeah, so, now you want soup.
Yeah. Miso soup's bomb.
Soup is a lifestyle. Making soups and sauces are probably two of my favorite like things to like make and like sit down and like, okay, now I have a pot of soup, usually made with like
souped up for a week,
scraps of shit and like whatever, but like, you know, but I've made so many soups in my life, and I love every bit of it. We had at one of the restaurants I worked at, we used to do a different soup, like soup of the day kind of thing.
What nonsense. Who wants to go to a restaurant for a different soup every day?
A decent amount of people. Well, see, here's the thing is you're not going there for the soup. You're going there at like, you're going to get something else, but while you're there, it's like, what's the soup on? If the food is otherwise good there, you're like, oh, what are they making? And if you have the soup and you're like, oh, they make good soup over here.
I don't trust it. If they're not committed to making that soup every day, why should I trust them when they decide to? It's a commitment issue.
So it's not, and I'll tell you why. You know the reason that restaurants make soup at all?
Because they're poor.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's
easy money.
Yeah, you're basically the goal is to try to sell as much water per ounce as you possibly can. And you flavor it up and do shit with it. And sometimes, you know, you're going to follow a recipe and make a specific kind, and you might be like, we always have this soup and sell this soup. But like making the same thing over and over again, it's repetitive and it sucks. So we would just go like, okay, we have, you know, sometimes it was like, okay, we got a whole bunch of broccoli in here and we don't know, like, we're not going to go through all this broccoli this week. Let's turn some of it into soup.
Waste, fraud, abuse.
Yeah.
we need Doge to audit you.
To audit the restaurant, audit the soup kitchens. It was fucking... It was cool to have that kind of scenario where we could make something. We only made the same thing like twice. And it was because my mom was coming into town and I wanted her to like try the soup I was making, at the time, or this other soup that I had made in the past. But otherwise it was like, it was different every time. And, people would come up and be like, so what do you got today? And it's like, it's potato and leek. And it's like, 2 days later, it's like a vegan minestrone.
Dude, if I go to a restaurant one time, if they don't have the thing I went to order, I never go back.
Well, like, you know, if you're only going for the soup, that's you.
Yeah, but the most important thing to me is consistency. I want to know every time. The whole rest
of our menu was the same.
But not the soup. What if I loved your soup?
Well, then you could ask me to make it again, and I might.
On a random day, I just have to chance it every time. I feel like I'm being scammed into coming in.
Listen, the soup people get it. The soup customers, they would know. They came in and they were like, whatever it is, I'm sure it's good. Let me get it.
Do you really want soup perverts clogging up your store?
Hey, if they're paying.
I don't know, man. If you think about the type of people that get soup for lunch, I don't trust them.
I just had soup for lunch today. The usual place I go to down in Royal Oak around here, they always have like a lentil, like a Mediterranean lentil soup, and then she makes like something else. All that, you know, it's rotating something or other. And sometimes it's like she'll try new shit. Sometimes she'll bring back something she did before. But But last year she made this chicken lemon dill. With like, you know, like fresh dill she got from like one of the farmers market people.
Ugh.
And it was so fucking good. And I'm
struggling
like,
to believe
she's made it since that it was good.
Yeah, lemon and pickle? What is happening?
Not lemon and pickle, lemon and dill. Chicken.
Dill's a pickle.
Dill is not a pickle. Dill is the flavor to a pickle.
Dill is a type of pickle. I don't think I've ever ate anything dill that ain't pickle.
You've never had dill in anything besides pickles?
I just refuse to eat it if it's
Why do you hate pickles?
I love pickles, but I don't want other things to be like my dill pickle. Speaking of which, butter pickles are fucking disgusting, dude. I think I have you on the record as liking them.
I used to not like them.
Oh, here we go.
I came around after having like good like homemade ones.
Yeah,
and I can appreciate I don't like most of like the store-bought cheaper ones because they're usually too sweet. No.
Do you butter your toast up and put your butter pickles on it?
No, I don't put my fucking butter pickles on it. I don't know who does that. Like, I think as like a snack or like something to go with like on the side of a sandwich, like that kind of sweeter pickle is not a bad thing. But to have it like I don't know. I don't know why it's actually called a bread and butter pickle. I don't know.
I love when my sandwiches are sweet like pickles.
You know,
I just don't get it, man.
If you got something that's really like spicy and fatty, like you got like a pork loin or not loin. Loin would be the you know milder one, but like a hot ham. And then you got like you know some sweet pickle on there that would crush.
That really sets it off, huh?
Yeah, it's the sweet heat balance. That's a thing.
Oh man! Speaking of brain dead, did you watch the presidential address last night?
No, I haven't watched anything from it.
We have a special agent with brain cancer now.
Cool.
Dude, it was so rad. Picture Trump looking all tough and presidential, and he points out in the crowd, and there's what appears to be a mentally challenged young boy, right?
Okay.
Trump says he's 13, kid's got a mustache, and he's got bald patches, right? Now, to clarify, I am not making fun of this child. I am making fun of his father and the president of the United States, okay?
Okay, yep.
Now Trump says this young boy survived cancer, and all of his life, he's wanted to be a police officer. So on behalf of the United States of America, from the president, I am now appointing you to be a Secret Service agent. And then the father holds up his boy, and the whole crowd cheers for this child that survived brain cancer that doesn't look all the way there because he is now an official Secret Service agent.
I would like to interject quickly.
Yeah.
That's a DEI hire.
It sure as fuck is. What we really need. What is the line? We need merit-based employment only. We need merit-based cancer.
Sorry, Billy.
ASAP, bro.
Sorry, Billy. You're not fucking qualified to be a cop.
Dude, I feel bad for the kid, but it was
Trump's America,
hilarious,
there's no way.
dude. It's just so fucking stupid. How fucking like all the... Do you know the girl... They spent like 15 minutes on saying fuck trans people, and they also did the Mexican gangsters who killed a a white lady or savages routine.
Of course.
Do you know the volleyball story one?
No.
This chick is playing like high school volleyball, maybe I think it was high school, and a trans player spikes the ball at her face so hard she got paralyzed. And every time Trump talks about it, he talks about how she's paralyzed for life on one side of her body, and then she's in the crowd, and it's obvious, like, maybe she had, like, a brain injury that fucked her nerves up a little bit. She is perfectly normal now. And every single time they talk about the trans volleyball player that paralyzed her, and
Jesus Christ.
She's been perfectly, it's like obvious bullshit. And the chick's like crying and thanking Trump for saving her from her paralysis. It's so fucking
terrible person.
Yeah.
Terrible people.
They're all savages. Yeah.
They're all
it's so fucking stupid. Our country is so embarrassing, dude. It's just like...
It really is.
We're being tariffed back by every single country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so fucking stupid.
And my eggs are still expensive.
Bro, they're up.
Yep.
There was somebody on Fox News today bragging about, well, maybe the silver lining is we'll get back to an era where we can raise our own chickens for our own eggs.
Oh, god damn.
They're literally talking about going back to sustenance farming, bro.
Tell that to all the people living in apartment buildings in urban cities.
It's fucking dumb shit. Speaking of which, I found Eric Kahn's Twitter because I finally activated our Twitter.
Oh, and, cool. Good. I'm glad we got in just in the nick of time.
Oh, yeah. And I've just been replying to everything Elon posts saying coward. And
nice.
I got a couple Elon Musk stans to follow us. And anyway, I was checking out...
cool. I hope they hear this and I hope they listen.
Yeah.
I hope they enjoy the show.
I'm going to be banned very quickly from it.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I think, you should keep a record of how speed run. How quick can you get banned from Twitter?
Dude, it is crazy
for just calling Elon Musk a coward.
Yeah. When you make a new account, I would say over, like, there's the homepage and, like, for you, suggested and all that shit. I would say over 60 to 70% of all posts that are shown to me are just Elon's. Like,
cool.
The algorithm is so manipulated and so botted. It's just people talking about what Elon's saying. It's like so dystopian.
That's sickening.
Eric Kahn, that's where his following is, apparently. And his Twitter's pretty it's pretty fucking funny, dude. We're gonna have to go through it one of these days because it's a full episode right there.
Are you telling me I gotta make a Twitter account?
We already did, brother. We're in.
Well, yeah, but I think it would be better if we're gonna. I mean, I'm picturing going to war in the comment sections, and it's foolish to go alone.
It's so stupid. I immediately regretted it. Man, it's just things are pretty wacky right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Where's your head at? What are you thinking about?
It's pretty rough. I am. I'm actually tomorrow. I'm gonna schedule my therapy appointment.
Good for you. Oh yeah.
And but it's been I've been through the up and down. I think last time we talked, I was doing a lot better, and at some point today was just one of those days where I was like, what I was expecting to be an easy, just kind of like I got a couple things to do, and then like it shouldn't take long, and then I can, do fuck all. I can do whatever. It just one more thing, just kind of kept getting added on. And it's like not big things, but it's just in the moment when I already was kind of feeling like I was stressed out about the house and about money and stuff like that. It just kind of all hit me. And it was like, I was trying to think of the exact thought I had earlier when I was driving. Because I thought it was funny in the way that I thought it, just the cycle of, the overwhelming depression that, leads you to, look for comfort somewhere. And then, sometimes you wander and you stray and you start thinking about suicide, but then you have to, once you settle in and realize like, you're not going to do, like, that's not a thing that you're going to do, then it's like, oh, well, and like, that was an option, but I guess not. And so now you feel, like you're a little helpless and you're out of options. And
Yeah,
it's even worse. But,
fucking lame.
it's all bummers, but I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing.
I feel like there's two ways to push when you get to that, well, I'm not actually going to do it crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's kind of like the tried and true method of like, well,
just doing it.
pulling the trigger.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Of like, oh, I figure out the things that are worth living for. You make the list, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like the standard way that they tell you to go, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
the more high risk, high reward is trying to figure out like, why am I actually not going to do this right now? Where
I feel like that's where I'm usually at. I see it. I guess maybe I'm kind of combining the two. Of I think about it, and then I think of all the reasons that I can't do it, which are the reasons that I enjoy being here.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a lot of I think a lot of the conversation with people who feel suicidal, I feel like I hear a lot of it being like, there is a decent amount of like, you're like trapped in the wheel kind of thing. And you're just like, you're going, but it's like, you're not gaining anything. But then the other one I hear a lot is like, you feel like a burden. You feel like
those people suck. Those people should kill themselves. Holy fuck. Get the fuck out of our way. Please just die. Holy shit.
I absolutely don't think I've ever felt like a burden.
No.
I mean, I've maybe felt like I was, in short terms, like staying past my welcome at, whatever, or not helping with a situation, but like not like burdensome in any like real way. So
because normally those are useless people, right? Like those people that normally feel like a burden, it's normally because they are.
I don't.
They're so self-centered. I don't know if I want to
put my seal of approval on a.
Don't worry, I got it for both of us.
Cool, thanks. Appreciate it.
Got you.
I can see. I know where you're coming from for sure with that, because it's like. I don't know. That's one of those of like, I definitely don't get that feeling. And more so of anything, it's a lot of the like, you feel like you're kind of like, you're in the current and you're, being just pulled deeper, and you kind of like, and part of it also is like I know I have a need to have control, of like myself and my own situations. And like when I'm put into a situation where I've lost that agency, I mean, with anybody, it's stressful, but I feel like for me, like even like plans, like short-term plans changing, like midday, I have a whole thing of like, I'm set up, I'm going to be doing this today. And then wait, hard stop.
I hate that.
Don't do that now. Focus on this. But it's like the other thing still has to get done. But now I have to like stop and switch gears and do something else. And like it trips me up because I have to like in my head figure out like how I'm going to get that and the other thing done. And so I don't communicate well with people when I'm like trying to figure that out. And like, there's all kinds of shit. I've been building the list of what I'm going to dump on my therapist.
Truly, it sounds lame, but I would highly recommend writing shit down, coming in with notes.
Yeah, no, I for sure, I have I've listed my phone started, but I plan on getting a notebook out, and it feels real that way.
I have 3 things. Okay, I'm gonna spout them off before I forget. Cool. One, just to put a point on things, I truly believe there's a difference between self-pity and true sorrow. And
yes,
I have nearly infinite empathy for people who are empathetic, conscientious, or trying. Even if they are pieces of shit, just trying alone.
Yeah.
Self-pity, like the people that are a burden or they think they're a bad person, like there is no space for that type of weakness. The sorrowful people, there's almost infinite empathy for. Second is and you can circle back to in a sec. I wanted to ask, this is your first time doing real therapy?
Yes. Well, kinda. I went to a therapist a couple of times when I was younger, when I was like 14 or so, for a breakup thing that I took really hard.
Sure.
But it was only a couple sessions. You go ahead.
Feel. Do you want to debate your suicidality?
No.
I could strong steel man you.
Yeah, I don't think I need that on either side right now. I definitely like I want to be fully clear. It's not like it's not something that I'm considering in any way, shape, or form. But
yeah,
the thoughts are still there and very real.
Jokingly, my point with that would be, do you feel like you have a good idea of like what's going on, or is part of like approaching therapy to figure out what's going on?
That's part of it. I feel like more so it's like, it's not that I don't think it's that I don't know what's going on. I think it's that I want to make sure I'm like handling it in the best way possible, because I feel like I know, it's all the dumb, like little life shit. It's not like one huge thing or anything like that. Like it's not nothing like that. I think there may be some things that are bigger than others, but it's like typical life shit. And I feel like I'm just maybe I do need to be on, some kind of medication or something. Maybe that would really like turn my life around. Maybe that would really help me. Maybe I just need different perspective or a different like way to think about things that I am not utilizing. Maybe by talking to someone who, talks to people like me on a regular basis, they might see a pattern in something that I'm saying, that they're able to uncover something that I'm not giving enough attention to that's causing me issues. And like, I'm open to that.
Yeah.
So that's probably the hardest part is when I was looking at different therapists online, one of the things I looked up was like an article, like what to look for when you're looking for a therapist. And one of the first things was like, before you even start looking at like your options of therapists, figure out like what you want from therapy. What's the goal here for you? And that was definitely one of the hardest ones for me to come up with, because when I first started thinking about it, like I really didn't have a goal other than like, I don't know, it just seems like the thing that people do when they feel like how I feel. And as I kind of sat and thought about it more and like, pondered that question, that's kind of what I come up with is just like, I want to make sure that I'm doing all that I can. And if I am, then at least I know that. And it's like, okay, this is it, and I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's going to help per se, or if it'll, just be reassuring that like, hey, you're doing all that you possibly can. And like, okay, then at least I'm on the right track. I don't know.
Yeah. I think my intention earlier, I think, is more around the idea of like, when I think of people I've known for a long time, right, throughout my life, and
Mm-hmm.
You're one of them. I've consistently thought of, not that you don't struggle, right, but that you have worked really hard and done better than 99% of the people in my life, basically. And I, like, for myself, especially as getting older and after all the years of therapy, something I've realized a lot is, I think when the world's really fucked up, I think feeling fucked up is a lot more like sane or like normal
Mm-hmm.
than people give it credit.
Right.
And the thought's always supposed to be like, oh, everything's fucked, but you should be really content with it that way.
Yeah, no. It's like
That sucks.
I know that, like, I know that's the case of like, there's definitely going to be turmoil if the world around you is the way it is. But I think how, what I was going to say a second ago. I think, you mentioned that I've worked a lot. I don't know this to be sure, but I feel like looking back that maybe because I've worked so much and I've like really kind of like focused on my career like entirely, that I've usually consider myself to be introspective, but maybe I wasn't looking deep enough to see I was always having trouble, but I just wasn't acknowledged, or I was always had the capacity to have trouble with this, but I never gave myself the mental space to deal with it.
I think
Or
so.
the idea of like, maybe it's not that I wasn't looking deep enough, but I was looking deep at the wrong things. Because there are things that I'm like starting to like notice now from like years ago, and I'm like, yeah, that's fucked up. Or like, yeah, I didn't realize at the time that was the situation it was, but
I don't think any of it's like you didn't do something enough. I think you just didn't have the time and space. Like, you've worked really hard because you had to, dude. Like, if when I'm
had to and wanted to, I think is the other, like, I'm not sure if I really even had to. Like, there are definitely times when like I would put myself in positions, and I still do it, where I put myself in positions to take more, like, as much of the workload as possible. And it's we've talked about the idea of like doing things for other people, doing good things makes you feel good. So there's something that, and it's a false idea of like leadership of like, if I do the most, then the people who work with me don't have to do as much. And I feel better knowing that I made their day easier. But
I personally hate that, but I'm glad there's people like you that and get something out of that.
Yeah, it's like it makes me feel good to know that, like, oh, when someone says, "Oh, I'm working with Rich later," it's gonna be a chill day. Like,
Yeah,
that's
but if you're suffering, you gotta take care of yourself first.
and that's
too,
exactly. That's the other one is like never hits me until way too late. And we've like even my boss now is like we're putting in like protocols this year to like make sure that burnout just doesn't happen. Like we're spreading out the workload a lot more. We're hiring a lot more people. We're going to make sure that like, I'm not working, 80-hour weeks, which I only did a couple of those last year. So
that's an improvement.
Yeah.
Where I was going to take us, if you want, is like when people talk about harm reduction, like even for myself, like if I'm shooting dope, my life's fucked. Why the fuck would I want to stop when it is the only thing that makes my life better? Right? Like when your life's fucked, I to cut to the chase, I feel like so much of people's depression, mental health, addiction stuff is so much more practical than a lot of mental health people give it credit for, where like until things around your life get easier or whatever, it's just hard for anyone to have the time and space to like figure out what's really going on with themselves. And I think you have a lot of advantages in the sense of like I think you are a lot more introspective than the average person entering therapy. But I look back at my own life and I see it in yours too, that like, of course, there's always people with harder shit, but like both of us went through our own like really heavy fucked up shit that not everyone we know or meet will understand. And I think like the reality of that is like, even if you deal with it really good, like that shit's heavy and we deserve the time and space to figure those things out. Like it's never too late or whatever to do therapy shit, but like I think you've deserved that option for a long time, and it's good you're giving yourself that grace,
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have between my coworkers that go to therapy and you obviously always have good things to say about it. Like,
except when I don't.
I mean,
sometimes they're weasels and you got to put them in their place now and again. The thing with therapists is they rarely will fire you. So you can be really mean to them when you need to.
Cool. Great.
That's a little pro therapy tip right there.
I'll make sure I assert dominance when I walk into the office.
Yeah, dude, just shit in the corner and leave your mark, bro. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, this is mine now. Yeah, the I don't know that
it's lame, but it's exciting. Like,
yeah. I'm sitting here opening up on a podcast, and I'm not like to people like anybody could listen to this. I've always been a very open book, like to the point where I question sometimes of like I think that's like a symptom of being on the spectrum a little bit, of just like not really filtering myself a whole lot when it comes to me. Like I can hold other people's secrets kind of thing, but it's like, if it's about me, like I don't care. It's not about being,
I know you're joking, but you're definitely not spectrum-y. But here's a thing, where I think we're both very open booky.
Mm.
I think my cat is being annoying. I might have to chase her in a sec. I feel like I really like put my book out there, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I feel like you are more just really honest where like if anyone asks you, you're going to tell them the truth, but you also don't you don't really like put out what you're thinking or feeling unless it's inquired. Like
That's true.
almost that you don't want to like weigh someone else down with your shit. And
I mean, I have the like people like you and some of my coworkers and stuff that like I feel comfortable of like when they ask me like how you been, like being honest about it.
yeah.
You know, there's some people that you know don't see all the time. Like if customers they come in and they're like, you know, people that I see all the time and they're still like, but it's a different thing. Yeah, like I still have that for sure, but like with you know the people I keep close by me, I usually am able to put myself out there a little more.
Do you want here's I feel like I just did not explain it well when I jokingly said, do you want to debate about it? Do you want the Satanist twist?
Sure.
All right, we're our own God and master, right?
Right. Mm.
This world fucking sucks, but it is our world. I feel like, you know, we've gone through our own sufferings and shit, but you've managed to like cut out among the chaos a stable home and life for yourself, which is a rare thing to a lot of the world. And I feel like knowing that accomplishment is something you can manifest and have manifested, that if you like really choose to like, you know, even though you might not feel well, to trust that you can figure out anything. Like if you give yourself the time and space, there's nothing you should feel unconfident that you can't figure it out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that you're just on that little journey.
I joke sometimes that, I mean, there is a seriousness to it, but of course I joke sometimes about the living in spite or living out of spite of God. And I think like it's mostly in my head, it's just like it's a funny imagery of like
it's very funny.
I'm gonna get one over on him by actually doing the shit I said I was gonna do today, because he's all powerful and he's trying to hold me back. But
it is funny. Can I offer my friendly concern?
Yeah,
because I've gone through that phase or that feeling before. I feel like there's a sad undertone of it's like an atheist versus Christian debate where like when it's framed that it's in spite of, it's almost like there's almost a part of it that feels then there must be a God I'm spiting, or that or that there's something I'm struggling with there, and I'm not saying for me that in a bad way.
Yeah, that's the part that I think is the funnier part for me, is that I don't believe that God exists. But the idea is that, you know, if he does, you know, fuck that guy. All of this is his responsibility, and he's the reason I'm in this position, and that's, you know.
But I feel like in spite of myself, it comes from like more of a position and power. Like I'm living despite my own want not to.
Mm-hmm.
Or
either, no matter what, the in spite of something, there is an element of like martyrism, kind of. I don't know if that's actually a word, but like martyrdom.
Yeah.
The idea of like I'm oppressed and but yet I persist kind of thing. Like I won't stop because of
Sisyphean. Sisyphean.
Yeah. There, it's the, you know, again, part of the thing I think is funny about it sometimes is like when it's something that's small and you know it's small, but it's still something that's frustrating because, you know, everything else kind of like the example I think of the most is, when we moved into this house, and we were on recording then too. I'm sure I told this story before, but like the whole day, it's just my mom and I, and we're moving mattresses and we're moving couches and we're moving everything ourselves. And we get almost like it was like one of the last things to come out of the truck was this, desk. And I was looking forward to it being my desk for up here. And, as we pulled it out, like it's a cheap IKEA desk or whatever. But as we pulled it out, part of it like twisted and snapped and it broke and fell apart. But because like all day long, we just been driving back and forth and cleaning and moving shit up and down stairs, and I'm exhausted. It's been like 12 hours. And I just, in that moment, like, I was either going to break or I was going to, you know, just keep moving. And it's like, I can't break. I still got to move all the shit in the fucking house. So I just started cursing God and, you know, kind of made myself laugh about it. It's like, it itself is like, that wasn't a big deal of the shitty IKEA desk that I've had for years broke. You know, whatever. I can survive without it. I don't need it. I can get a new one, whatever. It's the mountain out of a molehill part of it that's like, and this is God's fault. But
you don't actually feel that way, right?
No, but it's a funny idea. I don't believe in God enough to actually believe that
your wording is questionable. Your wording. You just said enough. In the way of like, okay, like as an atheist, it's not that you're saying there absolutely is no God for sure, for certain, and I know this. The idea is there's no reason for me to believe in a God because there's no evidence for it. There's no logical reason for me to believe in a God. That's the private position between trusted friends. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The public position is it's fucking stupid.
You guys are idiots.
Nothing's
There's no
real.
God. There never has been.
Yeah. I feel
not trying to leave open the idea of there being a God. That's just how I usually phrase it.
Yeah. I feel like, am I overthinking it, or is that something you like want to explore in therapy?
Religion?
Or spirituality or whatever? Because there's a weird thing of like,
no, absolutely not.
Because there's a weird thing of like, depending on the beliefs of the person you get, they really can like inject them if they're shitty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
no,
you'll figure it out.
That's definitely not. I mean, that's like it's a non-starter. There's nothing. There's no. I derive no joy from religion, from spirituality, and the idea of like maybe karma conversations or something like that, but like not to say like, oh, but this is real and I'm going to change my life based on it. Like, no.
I think I figured it out. I think
solve my problems. Cure me.
No, this isn't that.
Oh damn! I gotta get my hopes up.
Knowing you as well as I do, I think I feel like we both know pretty intimately the beliefs each other have, but I feel like when you use wording, it doesn't betray you because I know what your beliefs are, but I think I think it reveals like you even speak more compassionately than I think you intend to or mean to. Or
I think part of it is most of the time when I'm having these conversations with people or I'm discussing this, like I discuss it with you a decent amount, but like more often it's with coworkers or it's like people where like I'm not trying to rock that boat
or like
in a
push
way
what
that
you
like
believe on them.
Exactly.
But
that's not my goal.
Deserve...
We're here on the same team, same mission.
That makes sense for work, but maybe in general it's kind of worth like allowing yourself to push what you want in the world more. Not like belief wise, but just like how you feel, you know?
That's fair. I mean, I
don't like what I just said. That was dumb.
I get what you're saying though. Like I guess it's not really a conversation I have on a regular basis of like trying to persuade someone of how I feel. But also I have upside down cross earrings in almost all the time and like a goat's head on the other side. And like, I think I carry myself in a, like we got our only negative review wasn't even like a review. It was a comment on Instagram. I think I told you about this. This woman who wrote something about like how could you possibly have a satanic person, working at a place where there's kids present or something like that. And
because I love manipulating your kids.
Yeah. It's like, I want to teach your kids to hate God too. Of course, like it wasn't my boss so much. It was like, it's my boss's, family member we hired on to help us with like social media stuff and like some of the management stuff. Sure. And she was the one that's been like looking at the Instagram and she saw it and brought it up to me. And she's like, does that like bother you in any way? And I was like, no, like, I don't fucking care. Like, as long as like, I don't want it to hurt like the business or anything.
Yeah. As long as sales are good, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, I don't give fuck that person. Like,
here's, one, I don't know what this falls under. I feel like, with suicidal ideation stuff, one thing that is helpful to me is it's really nice if you just decide you for sure are going to kill yourself, but it's more like when. Where like
give myself a date.
Not a date, like because that gets a little sketchy, right? But you want it to be more wishy-washy or non-definite, where like if I had to choose how I die under best case scenario, I want it to be my own choice. Like, I don't want a disease
for sure
taking me out, or a car crash, or catching a stray. Like, I want to choose. I didn't get to decide when I entered, but I'm sure as fuck deciding when I leave.
I think that's what should be afforded to all of us.
Yeah. And I feel like there's some comfort to take there, where it's like, why do I want to leave when, aside from the feeling part of like the sorrow part, whatever, but there's like so much drugs and porn and like art and rad shit.
all the things worth living for.
Yes, dude. Like, why would I want to like not have a chance to do
porn's
more
been
of those
more readily
fun things?
It's been more readily available now than ever.
Incorrect, sir. They're taking it from us, okay? They're taking all of our sugary treats and our pornographic images. We must hoard them in our digital treasure chests.
Start buying up some hard drives.
Dude, absolutely, bro. It's jokes, but why not, bro? There's good chemical romances yet to have. There's plenty of carnal desires yet to experience. I don't want the good things I enjoy to be stolen from me just because this place sucks, you know?
I found out you can get like mushrooms up here now. There are like stores you can walk in and buy mushrooms.
That's surreal. But
yeah,
any hallucinogen's kind of a dice roll if you're not feeling great, but
that's true. That's we can put that as a goal. I want to feel well enough that I can comfortably do mushrooms again.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
That sounds like that's one I've always wanted to do again. I have
DMT,
a ton of weed, and I don't ever use it.
You use weed like a squirrel, where you just harvest it away and tuck it into places.
People give it to me.
That's so weird, dude.
I have one friend who grows it professionally, and so he gives out samples all the time. And for the holidays, or just like whenever he's like, oh, I got this new stuff in, and you should try it. And I've told him before, like I don't smoke that, maybe like a couple times a year, if any. And he's like, same here. Here you go.
That's rad.
So I was making cookies, and then they were getting freezer burnt.
All right. What about the other angle of like not doing enough happy stuff? Do you feel like you're able to enjoy things, or just don't have the time to do the enjoy things?
It's a combination, maybe. I think part of it also is like, maybe it's a perspective thing of like what I want, what I feel like when I feel. It never feels productive, but I enjoy just being alone. I enjoy being home with my cats, and I can or maybe not even being alone so much as like having the free reign of like, I don't have to do anything today. I can do, but what that means is I can do whatever I want to today. It's like, maybe I do want to like make a grocery run and like hit a couple places, and
But isn't that even better when you have a partner you can neglect?
And you have someone you could be like, hey, I'm buying all these things to make baked goods, and you better use them or they're going to go bad and it's your fault.
I like the freedom of like it, and it worked out, I feel like, really well for Sarah and I's personality, where we both like our alone time, but I don't like feeling like I'm stuck alone, but I also don't want most of my time to be with the person, where I feel like it's hard for me to fully enjoy solitude mode if I don't have the option to get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some poor drug dealer in my yard bebeing poor on my property. Get the fuck out of here. Jesus. I don't own this land. But I will pretend.
Yeah, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
The idea of like being, I don't get me wrong. Like I love being in a good relationship like that. I do always find happiness in that for sure. And it took me a little while to get back to being comfortable being alone. I had it like right when I was leaving Florida, and I was mentally prepared to like, I'm not making friends. I'm not starting nothing just above an acquaintance. I'm just going to buckle down and like build money and live in a shitty apartment and then move.
Sure.
That was the goal. And like, hang out with Keith. That was the other one. Hang out with my cousin and his family. That was my family here. And like within a month, all of that was gone. Like I met somebody immediately and like I met her family. And then like now like we're still cool. It's so like that immediately went out the window. But since we were dating and like it kind of like once we were done, it was amicable. It wasn't like a messy thing or anything, but it was like, I need to like work on myself. And then COVID happened and it was like, well, I'm just going to be inside now and I'm going to take advantage of it.
Here's a thought.
Yeah.
We do this podcast every week, every other week, and most of the time it's fun. The other times it's like a release of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Aside from that, like, I don't have a ton of fun stuff, but I also feel like I've largely like forsaken putting importance on like happiness.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have like really tried to like be at as much peace as I can. But like every day I have to do a handful of things that I get some pleasure or fulfillment from, or like I for sure would go crazy. Do you feel like you have enough like pleasure things?
Enough. What do they call that with animals in cages? They give them oh damn,
sugary treats.
No, there's a fucking word for it. Enrichment.
Yeah.
Don't have enough tools of enrichment. I don't know. I have been thinking about that lately of like,
you're always so businessy. Like I always am trying to pull you into enrichment mode.
I will say so here that I don't know if this is exactly the healthier one, but like I've cut out Instagram. I've maybe use it 5 minutes tops a day if I use it at all. Most of the time I just don't even open it anymore. That's been super helpful. But what I do still, what I was still doing was opening my phone for a while. So like in that like gap period, I was trying to figure out like, give myself something else to do when I open my phone, like another app to like, go towards. And I downloaded Vampire Survivors. I'm not sure if you ever played that one, but it's really good. And
I'm not sure.
It's like a roguelite. It was really popular a couple years ago, and it's just they keep expanding on it. But it's a good game, and it's free. And I've been playing that every now and then, like when I catch myself like opening my phone and like just looking for something to do, like that's a little bit more fun at least than like scrolling through news shit. And then, like each round of that's like 30 minutes and then I can go about, whatever the fuck I was doing before. I can figure something else out. But within that, I've been thinking about like I've always wanted to have like a regular like routine kind of like schedule, wake up at a certain time, do the, my morning shit, go to work, come home, do my evening shit, and then go to bed.
It helps so much. But
I've never worked in an environment that allowed that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, today I have to wake up at 6. Tomorrow I don't have to be in there till like 10:30. And then like the next day I gotta be in at like 7 in the morning. And it's like, there's no like room for, a regularity there.
Do you feel like there could, feel free to tell me to shut the fuck up at any time, because I'm trying to like
No, you're helping
think
me
of
process it. I appreciate it.
I'm glad it feels that way, but I feel like I kind of started with like I truly feel like you'll figure like you haven't had an opportunity to kind of experiment with this in this way before, but like I know you will figure out whatever. Like I feel fully confident in that. So if like I'm annoying, tell me to shut the fuck up. But I feel like do you feel like there could be any benefit into, because you can't really have a schedule like that, which is a really important thing for me too. Do you feel like you could benefit more from trying to embrace being more flexible and carefree about things? I know that's not like your nature.
I mean, yeah, for sure. And I think part of the, like, I actually do think that part of what I'm going through right now is part of that. From last year, like last season, it felt like, you know, it was too much. It was too much at once, and I just had a lot going on. And I realized after not just that, but then like interactions with like other coworkers where like they were feeling it in a way that like I didn't realize how much I was putting it on, you know, pushing it off onto them.
Sure.
Where like they were, you know, uncomfortable of bringing up ideas with me and like uncomfortable with like introducing like,
it's just a high stress environment.
Yeah, like bringing up things of change. And it's like, I definitely don't want that to ever be the case. So I realized like I need to like relax a little bit. Like, you know, it's the kind of a joke that we say when people make mistakes at work. It's like, at the end of the day, we sell smoothies. Like, it's whatever. It's not that big of a fucking deal if, you know, something didn't go exactly the right way.
Yeah.
So in doing so, in trying to let go of some of that, I think the way I was thinking about it the other day is the letting go of it, or like trying to be like more hands-free with life in general. Meanwhile, the world feels like it's burning. Like every time that you hear anything about like the news or anything, it's like, how is this still going on? Yeah, both of those at the same time sucks.
That seems to bother you more than it bothers me, in the sense like that might be, it seems like you're sensitive to what's happening outside of yourself a bit more. And it's because you're very conscientious about what you want for others. Like, you know, the lack of suffering you wish people had.
It's like the idea of like, we were talking earlier about, I forget what you said, but while you were talking, it made me think of like, we were talking about like the timeline of like, you know, or you having an idea of like, when would I be ready to go kind of thing, or like what would that look like? And it's like, well, what's the end goal for like what I want for myself? And it's like comfortable financially, whatever. Like that's huge.
Is it?
But then like there's a certain degree for me of like, I don't know. This sounds so fucking stupid. I don't know how comfortable I can be knowing that
everything else is fucked.
Yeah. It's like if someone I care about's life sucks also. Like, and you
can't afford to take care of everyone.
Right. Exactly. And I recognize I put too much responsibility on myself for other people's well-being and how they're like, I do that to myself. I make it a priority, when it's not that it shouldn't be like important, but it doesn't have to, apply your own mask before assisting others kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
but also,
I'm not good at that.
Yeah, maybe. I think of it like, of course I want to be able to help more people, and of course I want financial stability, and I've definitely worked really hard to like get fairly close to that. But it'll never be enough. Like there is no true security.
Yeah.
And there's almost like, of course, I think it's good to have the want to help alleviate people's pain as much as possible, but I don't think there should ever be a responsibility, even to the people you love, where like,
yeah, of course. That's, that's rule number one is like, you're not responsible. Again, I feel like in a relationship, you're not responsible for the other person's happiness. You are maybe, should be conscious of the fact that they're going to be looking to you and leaning to you for assistance when they're not happy, when they need, when they have problems, but it's not your responsibility to make sure that their needs are always met every time, all the time. It's like they are an independent person. They can do what they need to do. They should be able to do what they need to do.
And if like, yo, I don't have any money, but like, I would have your back or whatever, like, friend, family, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it would be hard to like cut out that over concern or responsibility? Is that like just
what you mean, like asking for help kind of thing? Like, how do you mean?
Where you said like you feel a lot of responsibility to like make sure other people are okay or have what they need or that they can depend on you. Do you feel like it would be hard to cut that out of yourself?
Yeah. That's to cut it out would be like, to tame it down would be more doable. To cut it out entirely, I mean, I don't know. Like, I definitely want. I feel like that is a big part of who I like when I look into the mirror and I like see me. Like, that's a lot of like where my pride comes from, is knowing that I have done and continue to do as much as I can for the people around me. I'm learning and I'm open to the idea, and I'm trying to navigate the thing of like, I don't always need to be the most reliable or be, the number one for everyone. It's just hard to kind of navigate limiting that without feeling like I'm doing myself a disservice.
Gotcha.
Like, navigating it without feeling like I'm doing wrong by betraying myself. Yeah.
We are most important, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And which is, I'm sure there's some fucking cognitive dissonance somewhere in there it's like
part of me thinks
I don't put myself first all of the time, but I do like take care of myself in a way of like, if I have something that I want, like I make sure I have it. Like I do take care of myself in the way of like, I guess mostly like things, food.
Those are the same ways you take care of others.
Yeah, creature comfort kind of stuff, but
you probably deserve or need a lot more than that. That would be like if there was any assurance or whatever. Like I think super conscientious people are often burdened by their concern for others. Mm-hmm. Empathy in general is a lot to carry around, but it always, like, not you specifically, but it always feels slightly goofy that people are worried about, like, losing that, or like not living up to your own standard with that, because it's impossible. Like, there's no way you could ever truly lose that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you probably need a lot more from yourself than the same things you are willing to offer others.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if I might do it in an unhealthy way, but I feel like there should be a lot of a feeling of like, yo, fuck everyone. I have to really take care of myself before I can consider doing anything for anyone.
Yeah, I get that when it's already too late.
Gotcha. That's fair.
So
not ideal.
No, it's not ideal, but like I recognize the feeling, and I am open to being more of that, you know, or I'm open to doing that more regularly.
There's kind of this weird thing that I think happens with a lot of like tough or like hardened by life people, where like in a lot of ways I feel like we both have lived parts of life pretty hard, but we're both very like super sensitive people.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have to, but you have to kind of live thick-skinned. But I think it's probably like a good thing to privately acknowledge the like raw nerves of being like super sensitive to life.
You know, I don't know if it's a saying already, but the stronger the walls you put up around you, the squishier the inside. You still have we all have the little delicate nougat core at the center, but
gummy bears, bro.
Yeah, you put a the skin's all thick. You're just protecting that soft inside. It's still there. I think I don't know if, you know, being exposed to like having less trauma, having less, you know, things that would make you hard, you know, make you like a more hardened person, things that, you know, less things that make you put up defensive walls. I'm not sure that, like, if you have like a more moderate amount of trauma, just like a cool casual amount, like, would you be more well balanced because of that? Or would it, like, there's definitely something to be said of like what you gain from trauma.
I think it's super important what you gain from it. I think,
yeah, it's getting through the shitty part.
Yeah, but kind of to both of our earlier points is you haven't had the time or space, I think, to work through some of those things.
That is true.
Like I've had probably like a, not inordinate, what is the word? Like I've had an excess amount of space to like work on a lot of the dumb things I've done and other people have done to me, because like I fucked up for so long, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think many. And like
You were court ordered to deal with it.
Yeah, for a long fucking time. But like all those rooms of people I've been in, like thousands and thousands of like fucked up people, like a lot of gross people, a lot of like really beautiful people. Almost everyone in those places has never had the time or space to like try to figure out anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just survival mode. I don't know. I think like a lot of your like not concerns, not worries, but like just how you're thinking about, and it's fucking awesome. You like were self-motivated to figure out an effective route to manage things, but it's just such a like high confidence sign of like, all right, now that you know you'll get that time and space, it's like it'll work out. You're way smarter and competent than most people who try to figure shit out, you know.
They're
all dumb losers.
It's the asking for help part for the. I mean,
you're not asking; you're demanding, bro. Fuck them.
For the things that matter. It's never like I can ask for help with like lifting a thing or doing a small task, but it's the
never ask help to lift things. Just hard man it and just
break my back and just
jerk your back, hoist it, you know, whatever.
Fucking pass out, wake up, broke my vape, broke my glass of water.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah. There's do you have any final thoughts you want to do? I had like one thing I could tie in, but
okay, go for it.
All right, this is kind of a hop and a skip, but there's so much wasted energy in survival, like when suffering is involved, and we've talked about opportunity cost a bit in the past, but I was actually kind of revisiting this because of all the economic crisis, which I'd like to point out, by the way, I've lost half of all my Bitcoin profits in 48 hours, okay? It's so stupid. All my stocks are fucked. But the point being, there's a lot of people, you know, that argue, you know, everything's going to shake out fine, that these are negotiation whatever. Fuck all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The point is like, what is lost through the opportunity cost, right? All the things that aren't being addressed because of the distractions, because of the suffering of survival, like the amount you're like reclaiming energy of time of yourself because you're addressing something before it's, you know, critical, is like a very big recovery of that opportunity cost. But I was just looking up some shit I hadn't thought about in a little while. Have you heard of the parable of the broken window, aka the glaciers? What is it? Question or? Oh, there's another name.
I think so.
Okay, this is from. So you know, there's the broken windows theory of, I think, was it Chicago or New York? Giuliani.
I don't.
You know what I'm talking?
I don't know.
It was enacted by Giuliani, but it was a criminology. What was it? Criminology. I can't fucking talk, bro. I'm tired. Theory where, like, if a neighborhood has broken windows, people care about the community less. So if you want to solve crime, you take every broken window very seriously, right? You've heard that. Yeah. It's like graffiti, all that shit. Like, take it super seriously because that shit teaches people not to care about the environment. And there's I think the current studies of it are that it's kind of overrated, but for a long time it was like super successful in turning around big cities like Chicago and New York.
I can definitely see, like, there's something there for sure.
There's something there.
Yeah.
But so that's the broken windows theory. But the parable of the broken window was introduced by French economist Frederick Bastiat in 1850. So this is all about, it's tied into economics, but it's really philosophically, it's about opportunity cost. This comes from his book. I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs. Have you ever witnessed the anger of the good shopkeeper, James Goodfellow, when his careless son has happened to break a pane of glass? If you have been present at such a scene, you will most assuredly bear witness to the fact that every one of the spectators, were there even 30 of them, by common consent apparently, offered the unfortunate owner the inevitable consolation, quote, "It is an ill wind that blows nobody good. Everybody must live, and what would become of the glazers if panes of glass were never broken?" Now this form of condolence contains an entire theory, which it will be well to show up in this simple case, seeing that it is precisely the same as that which, unhappily, regulates the greater part of our economical institutions. Suppose it costs 6 francs to repair the damage, and you say that the accident brings 6 francs to the glazer's trade, that it encourages the trade to amount of 6 francs. I grant it. I have not a word to say against it. You reason justly. The glazier comes, performs his task, receives his 6 francs, rubs his hand, and in his heart blesses the careless child. All this is that which is seen. But if, on the other hand, you come to the conclusion, as it is too often the case, that it is a good thing to break windows, that it causes money to circulate, and that the encouragement of industry, in general, will be the result of it, you will oblige me to call out, "Stop there! Your theory is confined to that which is seen. It takes no account of that which is not."
I really dig that.
I do too. There's whether it's broken windows and our economy being fucking demolished by fucking idiots making the conversation about the wrong thing, or the news talking about the wrong thing, or neglecting our own mental health or not, whatever the fuck. Everything has its opportunity cost, and it's really important not to lose too much on the things that aren't seen. Did I tie it in? Did I put a bow on it?
You sure did.
Bro, I was really, I was trying to find something, man.
you know, there was it's hard to get out of the deep conversation like that.
Yeah.
But I think the easiest way is just to say thanks again for listening.
Yeah, fuck it.
Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcats on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
If you're super bored, you can check out my trashy art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZICX. Super slow, but always steady. Working on a couple big episodes. I enjoyed our discussion.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was good vent session. I feel better. I do still need to do some work tonight.
Oh, fuck
but
that,
it's fun
dude.
work. I get to design a flyer.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm glad we recorded. Love you, bro.
Oh, we didn't say that. I didn't say the thing. That was my bad. That's gonna be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.